Hello and welcome back to Blues Armory, where today we're talking Mandalorians again. Let's get into it. So when I did my Mandalorian Mercs upgrade video a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I talked about there were more upgrades that I want to make to the Mandalorian, and one of the biggest challenges I've had with this Mandalorian is the neck area. It just seems a bit empty, and a lot of people have commented on that, and it's just one area that I really want to work on making look really, really nice. So I don't know if I said in the last video, but in the last video I think I said I printed some epaulets, which is what they're called, for the Mandalorian, and today we're going to paint them, we're going to finish them and get them all sorted so they look ready to go. So let's talk about these epaulets. I had sanded, finished and primed them so far, and they were looking pretty smooth. I just thought I'd check over and make sure that everything is nice and smooth and there weren't any bumps and ridges and layer lines. They were absolutely covered in dust and just bits and crap because I hadn't really done anything with them. So the first thing I did was give them a quick clean, just with water, just to get off all that dust and all those particles, and then let them dry. And then it was to lay down my primer. So I decided to start with just kind of what primer I had available. I had this flat black primer available, so I just thought, well, I'm not buying any more spray paint, so I'll just use this. As you can see, I am wearing PPE, as you always should be when you are spray painting, even if you're spray painting outside in like 50-degree heat. So we put down that flat black primer, nice and light coat, and then just let it dry. And then we went for masking fluid. So if you've watched any of my videos before, or any of my reels or TikToks, you know that I am a big fan of using toothpaste as a masking fluid. But I decided to go on Amazon and get myself some masking fluid. So this was the first time that I'd used the masking fluid. After the masking fluid, I knew I had to put down my second coat, which was going to be my silver. This is a very, very, very cheap spray paint, but it's such a good chrome silver. I absolutely love it, and it's like 10 dirhams, which is like $2 or $3. So we put down that after the masking fluid had dried. Maybe not dried enough for what I was meant to be doing, but this is the first time. And I'm not wearing PPE this time because I don't even listen to my own rules because I'm an idiot. After that, we went back with the masking fluid. We're basically trying to go over the black bits that we did before and then some more to create that depth of paint chipping that I've done on a lot of pieces of armor, and I think just looks absolutely fantastic. So we're going over this. I later found out that there's an actual nozzle for the masking fluid that I should have been using. So it was coming out a bit too fast this time, and it wasn't perfect. But it's a learning process. This is the first time I've used masking fluid, so I am learning along the way. And it was okay, like it worked. After that, we hit it with my Mandalorian color, which is this khaki brown color from Rust-Oleum that I've used on the rest of my kit. This is the part where I realized that I had not let the masking fluid dry anywhere near enough. It was just, like in some places it was still wet, and I just was being impatient and just didn't wait. But I'd committed to it, so it was time to just try and remove it as much as possible. After that, I wanted to just knock down some of the gloss because I had gloss only left of this khaki color. So I'm just trying to like remove a little bit of the gloss because it is really shiny. It's a nice glossy paint, but like it's not the vibe that I'm going for the Mandalorian. It was also helping me pull off some of the masking fluid as well. Then it was time to weather them. This is my normal weathering technique. I did it on my last Mandalorian update, but it's basically just acrylic paint, water, putting it down and then stripping off as much as possible. And you're going to see that I am now going to realize that I have made a mistake with painting these, which is the great part of prop making, right? We do things, we think they're gonna look great, and then once you've done it, you realize that it looks awful and you need to change something. So I'd started weathering them with blacks and browns and everything, and I was happy with the weathering that was going, look. But then I remembered I saw this from Captain Seekerman on Instagram, and he'd had a kit that I really, really like. And I realized that he'd done his epaulets different colors to the main body of armor, so I thought, okay, I need to change them. It's all too one-dimensional. So what I did is I got my airbrush out and thought, well, why don't I just airbrush red onto it? I've got a lot of red in my kit, so let's make these red. And I thought the best thing to do would be to airbrush, because I'd already done the weathering and the chipping and I didn't want to cover that up. And airbrushing with acrylic paints wouldn't completely cover up the weathering. So you can see here, you can still see the weathering come through, which means I didn't completely waste my time. And then I did another stupid thing, didn't weather the other one and started airbrushing it. And you'll see, I go to airbrush it, I'm like, oh, this is way too bright. I'm gonna need to knock that down. Why is this so bright? Oh, you idiot, you didn't weather it beforehand. So I had to go back in, like I tried to stipple it off and blend it in, and then by the end I was just like, let's just wipe this all off and start again. It's pretty easy to wipe off because it's just acrylic paint and water. We then finally weathered it properly and then did like 2 or 3 coats of just a mix of red acrylic paint and water. And I think it turned out actually really nicely. The depth in the weathering is really nice. The chipping effect looks really good. I then just brushed on very, very lightly, just like tiny bits of silver to try and just add a little bit extra to the weathering. I absolutely love weathering. And I think these turned out like pretty good. Like I like that there's the chips in them. I like that there's some black in there. I think the weathering looks really nice, and I 100% think that the red was the right choice to go with. So I got my Mandalorian armor out. As you can see, I wasn't really caring if it went on straight because we can see some Velcro at the top. And I have had to shift my shoulders down a little bit lower than I would usually have them. Obviously there's the Velcro at the top that I usually attach them to, but I do have snaps just in case. So that's kind of how they're sitting on my body now. I think they might need some adjustment because you can see there's a little gap there on my shoulder, but I don't know, what do you think? I don't think they look that bad. I think it fills out that neck area. I think we're starting to get a cohesive look. I think the red looks very bright here. I think that's just the color grade that I've done on the video. But I also think that I could probably bring down that red quite a lot. But I think they help, right? They're slowly starting to like build out that area in my armor that needed building out. So back to Studio Gavin. So there you have it. That is pretty much all done in about a day. Not the sanding and finishing and priming and all that. That was done over a course of quite a few days. But like the painting and the application of these was pretty much done in one day. So I'm pretty happy with them. As you would have seen, there were a lot of mistakes and changed ideas that happened along the way. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how they're looking. It has meant obviously that I've had to adjust the shoulders down a little bit, which is not ideal. Although that is kind of the way that some Mandalorians have their shoulders. I don't know, I'm still messing around. So what is left on this Mandalorian? I need to sort out the belt situation. I know I do. The belts are an absolute travesty. I really need to work on them. The Boba pouch belt is actually okay. I don't mind that one. But the lower belt just is awful, and I still need to sort out a new blaster and a new holster. So I'm looking at people that can do me like a blaster holster belt situation, because I think that would look good. And then probably just a few more bits and pieces just tidying up, and then we will be ready. I reckon in about a month, let's say by September. By September, I think I'll be ready to go for Mandalorian Mercs, maybe August, but things happening. So let's say September, we'll do our next round of pre-app photos, and we'll aim to that, hold me to that. Secondly, to all the Mandalorian Mercs that have commented and got in touch about the videos that I've been doing on this, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, it's very nice of you. If anyone has any tips and tricks that they would like to tell me, please go ahead and let me know. Let me know what you think of the new parts of the costume, and that will do it for today's episode. I will be back with some more Mandalorian stuff, so don't worry, it's coming soon. But that'll do it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great week ahead. Happy crafting, and goodbye.